Hello everyone, I am Paul McGuire Grimes from Paul's Trip to the Movies, here with my review of Three Identical Strangers. This is a new documentary from Tim Wardle, who draws you into the crazy concept of triplets Robert Shafran, David Kellman, and Eddie Galland, who were separated at birth and ultimately meet each other during college, not knowing that they're even brothers in the first place. So everything seems hunky-dory between them. The brothers become viral sensations long before that was an actual concept. They appeared on various news outlets, talk shows, going so far as to even opening their own restaurant named Triplets. But it's not too long before the reality of their story sets in, when the brothers learn the truth behind their adoption. So, if you're paying close enough attention, you'll realize early on that only two of the brothers are being interviewed along with their friends and family. You do find out why, but I really feel like the less you know going in, the better. I already knew a few of the key details, which kind of affected the whole kind of shock value as their story unfolds. The story really is about nature versus nurture and the effects of growing up in a kind of predetermined environment. Tim Wardle, the documentarian again, uses a lot of archival footage from their media blitz, how the three brothers met, how they were very similar in their mannerisms on all these talk shows, as well as a lot of dramatizations used to kind of set the scene before this happened. There are many sequences throughout the movie that are reused over and over again, which I thought was kind of a bummer. I really wish they would have used more footage, especially later in their later days. You'll also find that journalist Lawrence Wright, who people may know from Going Clear, the HBO documentary about Scientology, as well as the new Hulu show, The Looming Tower, also gets involved. We see him interviewed quite a bit and how he really dug deep into their story, looked into their files. I now want to dive more into his work because he was really fascinating to me on what he brings to the table. Throughout the documentary, I was really frustrated on behalf of the brothers. I was baffled at the audacity of this adoption agency, and it was kind of a head scratcher, and I think you will feel the same way throughout. For me, it left me with a lot of questions afterwards. As someone that is familiar with the adoption process, I wanted to know so much more about the relationship between the brothers. We see a lot during when they were young and being famous. What's kind of happened since then? How has their lives changed from the 1980s? And what is their relationship today? There were a lot of questions that get brought up, but then we don't get answers to. And maybe that has something to do with the privacy of their story, but I want to know more. I'm so fascinated in it, and I just have questions left for them afterwards. But I still enjoyed it as much as you would kind of enjoy something that is kind of frustrating at the same time. I'm giving this 3 out of 5 ticket stubs for Three Identical Strangers. I do recommend it. There's a slew of really good documentaries out right now. Won't You Be My Neighbor, RBG, and now Three Identical Strangers. I did like those two more than this one, and how they approached their subjects, and how you were left resolved at the end of it, and maybe there isn't a resolution to this story like there are those stories. So again, 3 out of 5 ticket stubs for Three Identical Strangers. Don't forget, click subscribe on my YouTube channel for more reviews, more interviews, as well as my appearances on KSTP's Twin Cities Live. I love being on there every Friday. And don't forget, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Paul's Movie Trip. And don't forget to go to my website, paulstriptothemovies.com, for even more entertainment. Have a great day, everyone. Go see Three Identical Strangers.